20s? Are you looking for some guidance to thrive? You found the right video. I recently turned 30, and I'm here to share some tough truths and lessons I wish I knew when I was younger. Welcome back to the Through the Looking Glass podcast. My name is Lavanya. If you found my podcast and enjoying it, please take a minute to rate and follow the show. It really would make a huge difference for a brand new show. So, today's episode is my list of things I wish I knew in my 20s. Your 20s are a rough decade. It's filled with uncertainty, growth, feeling lost, and finding yourself. I feel like my 20s shaped me into the person that I am today. And of course, I too had challenges along the way. A lot of times we aren't taught life things in school. So I want you to thrive, and if you can learn from my mistakes, I'm here to share. So take what resonates and leave anything that doesn't. I'm speaking from learned experiences, so it's okay to disagree. These are in no particular order. So let's get into it. These are the list of things I wish I understood in my 20s that no one tells you about. Number 1. No is a full sentence. As a brown girl, I do feel like I was conditioned to be accommodating and listen to your elders. Often in our community, personal comfort and boundaries are not discussed. It's disempowering, especially for girls. You don't need to provide any explanation when you are declining a request. It's not your responsibility to cushion anyone's reaction to your unavailability. So, I do want to emphasize, simply saying no is enough. No follow-up necessary. Number 2, stop being friends with people who are negative, catty, or energy suckers. When you are in school, our friends are our classmates, people in our neighborhood, family friends. Often our social interactions are restricted to the people in our circle, but as you get older, you graduate and you're out in the world, friendships are less circumstantial. It's important to pick your friends wisely. Your thoughts, energy, and actions are influenced by the people in your life. If your friends are always gossiping or complaining, have a negative outlook in life, or lack ambition, it lowers your energy. You are the sum of your closest 5 friends. Be picky and don't feel bad or obligated to spend time with anyone just because you've known them for a long time. Number 3, work on being financially independent. Get your finances sorted. Invest. The earlier you start, the better. I personally had no clue how to budget or invest until I started working full-time, and I stumbled through it. It's never too late to start, but don't waste time in your 20s. Often there's a misconception you have to invest large sums. Not true. You can start with buying index funds or ETFs. If you can start in high school or undergrad, even better. Another thing with finances, I would caution against credit cards. It's so easy to overspend on them, and getting sucked into credit card debt is a huge pitfall. I actually made that mistake in college, so no judgment from me. Don't charge anything you can't pay off in the same billing cycle. Number 4, money empowers you to make your own decisions. This might be a South Asian specific comment, but I want to emphasize the importance of having your own money, especially to women. You should have your own bank account and don't pool your income or earnings with your family. It doesn't matter how amazing your relationship is with your parents or spouse. You should have ownership and independence when it comes to your finances. You will always put yourself in a vulnerable position when you relinquish that ownership. Number 5, this is a common piece of advice that I think is not true. Time heals everything. No, it doesn't. Time can create space, distance, true, but true healing requires work. If you don't address the root cause or problem, you're going to carry that with you forever. Sometimes time alone is a good start. You can process the situation or negative experience, but some wounds need professional help to heal. As a minimum, learning techniques to cope, set boundaries, and build positive relationships is necessary to heal and grow. Number 6. Another advice I disagree with. You will find someone when you aren't looking. Why do people say this? It's usually people who have been in partnership for a long time that tend to give this bad piece of advice. So maybe it's coming from a place of not being in touch with dating. I feel like the idea behind this phrase is focusing on yourself, and that makes you more attractive. While there's some truth to it, I still think it falls flat. It's like saying a job will find you when you're not looking. I know it's not the same thing, but my point is, dating and relationships take work, and you have to put yourself out there to meet the right person. You aren't going to randomly find your person if you never leave your house. Number 7. Wait 30 seconds before reacting. Take the time to process and think through before you speak. This is a fine art to learn, in my opinion. The loudest person or the first person to speak isn't always right. Working on getting your thoughts out precisely and calmly sets you up for success in school and in the workplace too. Also, reacting out of emotion is very human, and I find that giving yourself that time to process saves you from those negative outcomes. Number 8. Do not work for free. I know every profession and industry is different, but when there's an imbalance in the exchange of value, it's lowering the quality of the outcome. I know every profession and industry is different, but when there's an imbalance in the exchange of value, it's lowering the quality of the outcome and power dynamics in a relationship. There's so many reasons why this is a bad idea. First off, anything that is free does get regarded as lower quality or defective. It's discounted for a reason, right? Second, it creates this expectation that you owe something free or extra to earn or keep that job. I think the cons outweigh the pros when it comes to free work. So I would just put your foot down and get paid. Number 9, let go of things that are not in your control. This can be so difficult, especially in your 20s and 30s when life is changing so much. Circumstances can make or break something. You can put your energy into thinking about the external factors or turn that focus into yourself. Your mindset, your skills, and actions are the only things that you can control. So start there, and you will attract the opportunities that you deserve. Number 10, not everyone has your best interest. This has to be the hardest and bitter lesson for me in my 20s. I can admit I was pretty naive and trusting. Most people will put their best interest ahead of yours, and some people will even do that at your cost. I know that can be hard to hear and accept, so learn to protect your energy, your work, and your relationships. Number 11, keep it private until it's official. Whether it's your job, relationships, don't share it until it's the real deal. Some people say that this is because of evil eye or nazar. I think there's some truth in it because you might be taking in bad advice or negative energy from people that are discouraging you from pursuing those opportunities. I also think sometimes stuff just doesn't come through, and that's normal, so it's better to keep it to yourself until it's confirmed. Then you can celebrate and share your news with everyone. Number 12, do not get into a long distance relationship. I get that long distance works for many people, but my gut feeling is that's not the majority. It usually doesn't work. People grow apart, meet new partners. I think that's natural. The only exception I would say is if you're going into it with an end date and you have a timeline to transition out of long distance. I've done it before, so I can speak to the negatives. And I would just recommend clean breaks. If you are meant to be together, you will find each other in the future. Number 13, stop waiting for the right time. I think this is a big trap to fall into. Waiting until you are prepared or feel ready to start a new project or passion. The thing is, the right time will never come. You will never be ready, and there's always going to be something that you can do before you start. Maybe there's some decision paralysis happening here as well. The truth is, growth happens when you fail. You learn from failure. So just do something to work towards your goals. Number 14, only compare you to yourself. Life is not a competition. Comparison can really kill the joy in everything. The fact is, everyone is on their own path. No one is behind or ahead at any given time. It's a personal journey, and you don't know what struggles and obstacles someone went through to reach something that you admire. I would try to understand, to identify what struck your jealousy or comparison, and flip that into a goal you set for yourself. I always try to learn from my past self so my future self can be better. Number 15, no one is thinking about you. Did you ever feel like it's me against everyone else and they are judging you constantly? I included this piece of advice because a lot of my friends confided in me that they felt this in their 20s. I personally didn't feel like people are against me or out to get me. I'm curious to know if this is a common experience, but I do want to talk about it. Most of the time, it's not about you. Everyone is struggling with their own things and far too busy thinking about their own actions, words, and insecurities. I promise, no one is staying awake at night thinking about what you said at that party or your outfit. Letting go of this mindset can be so freeing. Number 16, enjoy being young and hot. You're never going to be 20 or 21 or 25 again, so don't be in a rush to go to the next year. Slow down and enjoy that point in your life. You will have so many more responsibilities later in life, and that can be wonderful too, but don't miss out on enjoying your youth. Even when it comes to fitness journeys, I know I'm probably never going to be as fit or have the metabolism of my 20-year-old self. Aging has its perks, but being young and hot is nice too. Number 17, over communicate. It's normal to assume that you got your point across, but the reality is, everyone has so much going on in their lives and work schedules. You might feel like you're being annoying by repeating yourself, but trust me, you are not. You might miss out on opportunities because you didn't follow up or assumed they knew. Confirming you are understood and following up is so important, both in your professional and personal life. Number 18, stop being nice to everyone. I feel like I had to learn this the hard way, that not everyone deserved my compassion and kindness. So many people will take your niceness to overlook you, take you for granted, or think that you can bend to their preferences. It definitely goes back to people-pleasing tendencies and lack of boundaries. Your 20s is your time of discovery, so it's normal to get a little anxious or seek validation, but growth is about knowing your values, beliefs, and taking a stand for yourself. Number 19, spend your money on experiences versus things. Listen, I'm a material girl, so I get it. You get your first job, you start making some fun money, and it's normal to treat yourself. But when you look back in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, you won't remember that purse or video game that you bought. You're going to remember the experiences with your friends and family. Life can be tough. Everyone has their ups and downs. So your money is better spent on shared experiences and activities. Plus, you'll always have something to look forward to on those boring days. And finally, number 20, no one will love you as much as yourself. I want to end this list on a self-love note. 20s can be a decade of insecurities, anxiety, and character development. It's wonderful to receive love and affection, but often when you are young, you do seek that externally. The truth is, the work and compassion that you put into yourself helps you grow the most. The truth is, the work and compassion that you put into yourself helps you grow the most. Besides, you can't pour from an empty cup. I know it's cliche, but learning to love your imperfections and seeing the beauty in your strengths and weaknesses can be fulfilling. So that's my list of 20 things that I wish I knew when I was younger. What would you add? And this is the last episode in season 2 of Through the Looking Glass podcast. I'll be back next year with a brand new season 3 with exciting episodes and guests. Thank you so much for listening or watching wherever you are in the world. Take care and happy holidays.